Hello and welcome. I'm doing something a bit different today. I'm doing a review of a Blu Ray that I got as a Christmas present. Because I'm so blown away by it, I thought I'll do a video review of it. So what we're reviewing today is the Blu Ray release of the Only Fools and Horses 80 specials. So it's the five of the specials that were done in the 1980s. So it's To Hull and Back, A Royal Flush, The Frog's Legacy, Dates, and the good old-fashioned Jolly Boys outing. So let's have a look at what you get inside it. Well, you get a lovely artwork on the back there. We'll show you some close-ups after. And when you open it up, you get some more sort of behind the scenes and sort of pictures from the sets. And when you sort of open it out, you get... So you've got 3 Blu-ray discs inside here, and you'll also get a lovely assortment. Well, you get some swag, trying to sell you more, but yeah, some good stuff there. You get 5 lovely postcard size images, all sort of from the sort of from behind the scenes, and they're double-sided as well. So we've got some lovely things like that, and you also get this little booklet which tells you all about the episodes and also some technical bits and bobs, what edits they made to it. It's a real good reading here. And yes, you got your 3 discs. So the one disc has got just the first one, To Hull and Back, so it's quite a long one. The second one has got 2 versions of A Royal Flush. It's got the original and the writer's cut version, so you've got a choice of which one you want to watch, or you can watch both. And then on the third disc you got the other 3, so the Frog's Legacy, Dates, and the Jolly Boys outing. And on each of the Blu-ray discs as well, you got some lovely behind the scenes sort of photo galleries, because it's all basically celebrating the 40th anniversary of this classic British sitcom, Only Fools and Horses. And they found a lot of photographs, negatives in the archives, and they were able to rescan them in, and they just look beautiful. And you got a nice assortment on each of the discs for each of the specials here. You got behind the scenes photographs, which is excellent. Okay, so just before I go on, when you got old sort of classic sitcoms like this, it's worth noting that they were filmed sort of sitcoms up until maybe the 90s, especially in the 80s where these were done. You would have had in the UK here, the studio elements of it would have been shot on videotape, which of course you can't get a native HD version of that, because it's just 720 by 576 PAL video, and that's it. You can't sort of magic up native HD or 4K resolutions out of that. But what you can do is a lot of things filmed like this amount of time, even though the studio elements were done on the videotape, a lot of the exterior and on location shots were done on film, because back then video cameras were big and bulky. They couldn't really take them out of the studio easily. It was just easier just to use a film camera. So most of the time it's 16mm film. Occasionally you get stuff shot on 35mm film. And for guys, if you don't know, essentially 16mm film, if you've got the original negatives and it's in very good condition, it can look as good as 1080p content shot on a 1080p digital camera when you scan it in. 35mm film can actually look like 4K video. It's got the equivalent resolution of 4K video, which is why a lot of the older films, shot maybe, going back to the 20s and before, if it's shot on 35mm film and you got a good set of negatives, you can make it look like 4K video today. Hence you can get stuff like Home Alone and all sorts of films in 4K and 4K HDR. But for the purpose of this, what they've done essentially is they've taken all the on-location bits, basically anything they can get the original film negatives from. They have gone back and restored them to full HD, and they've edited them in. and the results are outstanding. I'll try to show you some. It also depends on the YouTube content mansion. Depends on what I can be able to show you, but hopefully some moving images, if the very least some still images from it, because it just looked fantastic. You know, compared to the DVD, it literally looks night and day. And now a lot of obviously there is a lot of upscaled standard definition content from these in interior studio scenes, but they've done a really good job of upscaling. Essentially, if you can upscale, if you got a good source of the PAL video tape, and you choose the right upscaling method, deinterlacing method if that applies, and the right amount of processing, not too much, not too little, just the right amount, then it can look great. And I'm pleased to say on this release they have done a blinding job on this release. The upscaled studio scenes look fantastic. Obviously not as good as the HD film elements, but they do look good indeed, and definitely way better than DVDs anyway, as well. Going back to the film elements of the thing, essentially, first of all, yes, you get a lot more detail on it, because obviously they've rescanned it in that high resolution. Obviously, back in the day, it would have been telescened in at the resolution back then, 720 by 576, probably not very good quality, sort of telescene maybe back then, and then it's been processed onto videotape and all sorts of processing going on to get it onto DVD and then onto your tele, and yeah, so it doesn't look, good. Then what they've done here, they've got the original film, so you got that brilliant detail on it. Not only that though, you got lovely colours. The colours are much better than on the previous releases on DVD or VHS or on the television when they first broadcast. And as well as that, so you got detailed colour, and also you got more of the active images as well, because there's no sort of worry about overscan or anything. It is still in a 4:3 frame. They maintained the aspect ratio, which is great, and it just looks fantastic. They've done a great job of the transfer there. The first thing you'll notice if you do get this and you play it, the opening titles, and all of them are all done in HD. If you ever notice on the Alien Falls and Horses opening titles, essentially what they are is a bunch of still images sort of stitched together. You got the market stalls, the pub. It's all sort of transitioned, and then a bit of a panel scan on the old tower blocks there. And obviously when you get David Jason and Nicholas Lyndhurst and Buster Mayfield in these cases coming up with their names, those pictures there, obviously like sort of stop animation, time-lapse type thing. Those were all obviously shot still photographs, I'd imagine, on a 35mm negative camera back in the day, because obviously didn't have digital cameras back in the 80s. It was all done, if it was a photograph, even likes of me and you would be on a film, and it would have been freshly done as well, and that looks fantastic. And indeed, there is on, I think, the first disc, one of the photo galleries you get on that is all these photos they use for these opening titles. So you got the raw images, including all the cast. He wants the own included, so got some. It's great. You got all these different ones that you may have never seen before. It's fantastic. They've done a great job, and they've put new graphics on, so the whole opening title sequence just looks like brand new. Just like it could have been done yesterday. It looks fantastic, and not just a fantastic picture. It's worth noting on here, because it's on Blu Ray. They have released it on using a DTS HD master audio track. It is obviously stereo, because it was done in mono stereo back in the day, back in the 80s. But essentially, you're getting a lossless track. So for the first time, as well as getting some elements in HD, you're getting a lossless audio track as well. So you got that sound quality boost as well, rather than double digital on DVD or So yeah, it is absolutely fantastic. Yeah, so you know, and they've gone to a great effort to put including little booklets. The things you don't get with streaming services these days, or these nice little touches. You know, it's such a joy to open. As I said, as a Christmas present, and it was it was a joy to open. Yeah, I watched Dates last night, and yeah, obviously the opening titles look fantastic. The first sort of few scenes were in the studio. Again, the upscaling is fantastic. I think it's all in 1080p 25 frames. So it is all in progressive, and it's 25 frames a second. They haven't done anything, you know, dodgy with the video elements. It's not filmized or, you know, got any funny effects. It is, you know, it does look, you know, as well. It's better than DVDs. You know. And then the first scene where Del goes out the pub, and then he obviously sees Trigger with his date from the computer dating agency. That first shot of with Del Boy walking up the street, it's just like, wow, you know. It's like, I just can't believe I was actually watching it, and yeah, they have done a fantastic job in this release. The only thing to bear in mind, from what I can tell, I haven't actually watched it, but I've sort of scrubbed through it, is the Frog's Legacy does appear to be doesn't look like it's got any actually rescanned film elements in the episode. So it looks like the only thing that's in actual native HD is the opening titles. Looks like the rest of it, even the on-location film shots, are just upscaled standard definition. I'm guessing they couldn't get the film negatives for those shots, unfortunately. Saying that, it still looks better on the Blu-ray than DVD, because thanks to that upscaling. Obviously on Blu-rays you get the extra headroom, extra bit rate as well, better codecs. Obviously AVC HD MPEG 4, is it H.264 rather than MPEG 2 on the DVD. So overall, even if it's a standard definition content upscaled, in this case you get in a good result. I mean, I'm quite picky with my upscaling. I could spend hours perfecting the perfect upscale, you know, my DVD collection to see at my tally. I mean, these days your tallies do a fantastic job of upscaling anyway. I know mine does. Just watching through the Plex app, DVDs look pretty good, you know, with upscaling and the interlace in there. So I was quite pleased to see that they've done a great job. That's, you know, one thing you do right about, because you're thinking, well, you know, even if the film the elements look good, but most of it's in the studio and they haven't done a very good job of upscaling, and you can't really change much of that because it's already been upscaled. You haven't got that original source to, you know, add extra processing on. But no, they've done a fantastic job there. So yeah, in terms of edits, yeah, not a lot of edits. Things have to be removed. Sometimes they have to remove sort of music and stuff for a couple of reasons. I think the only things they removed here, as you see, is a couple of GLR jingles. And actually, they've actually reinstated a track. You can see there in the Jolly Boys 18, which meant the 4-minute scene featuring Del, Rodney, Boise, Mike, and Trigger could be restored. So that actually added 4 minutes back into the Jolly Boys 18, which is fantastic. So yeah, I think this retails for around £35 here in the UK for most good retailers that sell Blu-ray still. Physical disc formats. But yeah, I'd say it's, even at that price, you might think, oh, it does sound a bit pricey, but when you think about it, you're getting 5 of the specials. I think it's got a runtime of 445 minutes, so you've got plenty of content here. But because of the amount of effort they've gone to do this, I was going to say it's, from my point of view, it is worth every penny. Hence, I'm making this video to sort of tell you this, and to hopefully be able to show you at least some still pictures, if not some moving video clips. So I hope that's helpful if anyone's a bit on the fence thinking, is it worth upgrading my DVD to this Blu-ray? Or, you know, I don't know if they can release this anywhere else. But, you know, you got it on Blu-ray, you got the full quality there, haven't you? So, yeah, and here's hoping they release more like this. Maybe the 90s specials if they can, or like some other sitcoms like One Foot in the Grave, One Foot in the Old Guard would look, I think look particularly good, because that was shot on 35mm film for the opening sequence, and the rest of it on 60mm film. So that you could be able to get that if you got the original film negative for that one. You can make one for the Olgov completely HD if you wanted to. I think that would be fantastic. But yeah, I think that's all there is to say about this for now. But yeah, if you're a fan of Only Fools and Horses and you want to see it, better, if you want to see it again, like you watch it again for the first time, if you care about HD quality, then yeah, it's a joy to own. So yeah, I recommend buying it. So yeah, thank you for watching this. I don't know if put in the comments if you think like sort of more of these or anything like that. So yeah, thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe because I might do some more of these videos, or I've got those sort of technology videos you can watch. But apart from that, stay safe and I'll catch you in the next one. Cheers.